As filmmakers, we all want to make our visuals more cinematic. And in today's video, I'm going to show you 2 tools that you can use to instantly up the quality of your visuals. Today, I'm talking about fog and haze. By the end of this video, you'll understand the key differences between them, when and why you should use them, as well as the pros and cons of each. As a bonus, I'll also be sharing with you a way that you can use fog or haze in situations where you don't have access to power or you need to be nimble and you don't want to be hauling around a haze or fog machine. So make sure you stick around to the end of the video for that one. If you want to see more content just like this, now's a great time to hit subscribe and hit that bell so you never miss a video. I decided to put together this video after a recent music video shoot that we just completed with the very talented Rory Webley for his new music video, Friendly Neighborhood Poltergeist. Fog and haze were instrumental in bringing the visuals of that video to life. So if you want to check it out, links in the description, go check out Rory's channel. Fog and haze can be terrific for adding extra depth and dimension to your shots. But if you've never used them before, the differences between the two can be a little confusing. So let's start with fog. Fog or smoke is generated using a fog or smoke machine. And the two terms get interchanged quite a lot, but they mean the same thing. These types of machines tend to be quite common and they're also very affordable. You can pick one up for about $100 or less. But do bear in mind you get what you pay for, so buy well if you can. Fog machines heat a water-based fluid and they push it through a pump very rapidly. So what you end up with are these large, dense billows of smoke, which are perfect for special effects. This is the perfect tool if you want to recreate heavy fog or smoke, where you want to see that billowy effect in the air. Fog is designed to be noticed. You see this used a lot, particularly in horror and sci-fi films. When choosing a fog fluid, make sure you get a good quality one, like the ones from ANTARI. They come in 3 different grades: light, medium, and heavy. Each of these 3 grades has different hang times and density, with light dissipating faster and heavy sticking around longer and being more noticeable. And now, on to haze. Compared to fog, a haze machine produces much finer and more translucent particles that also typically hang in the air a little bit longer. It's more subtle, but in my opinion, it produces a much more cinematic image than fog. Haze machines typically use a mineral oil-based liquid, and instead of heating the liquid, they use an air compressor to gradually release a fine mist into the air, instead of this big billow like you get from a fog machine. The downside of using an oil-based liquid is it can leave an oily residue on all of the surfaces around you, and this can be very difficult to clean off. This typically only happens if it's in use for extended periods of time. The images that haze can create are really lovely, and it's perfect if you want to capture those beautiful beams or shafts of volumetric light. It also gives practical light sources a lovely glowy effect and really helps to bring them to life. Haze is subtle but powerful. The main downside to haze machines is that they are a lot more expensive. At the low end, you're looking at least $300 to $500, and a good haze machine can set you back thousands. Now, don't get too discouraged. There is a way that you can approximate the look of haze with a fog machine. What you want to do is waft those billows into the environment and wait for it to settle and dissipate. It doesn't quite catch the light in the same way, but it will get the job done. Bear in mind that you will need to repeat that process every 1 to 2 takes. You can also find these machines called phasers, which are kind of in between hazers and fog machines. Phasers use fog liquid, but instead of blasting it through a pump, they release it more gradually using a fan instead. This is what we ended up using on Friendly Neighborhood Poltergeist because unfortunately, the haze machine that we had originally booked had to go in for repair. Please note that you cannot mix haze fluid with fog machines and phasers. The two do not mix and they will damage your machine. The same thing goes the other way around as well. Another factor to consider is that haze machines can be run continuously, whereas fog machines or phasers need regular warm-up periods, which can delay your shoot and interrupt production. Another thing that I want you to be aware of is that although they're not supposed to, both types of machines can set off fire alarms. So if you can and you have the opportunity in pre-production, it's always a great idea to get into the location and test it out to see if you're going to have problems on the day. Now, all of this is awesome, but what if you're out on a location and you don't have access to any power, or you don't want to lug around a big heavy machine? Well, that's where my bonus tip comes in. Haze in a can. This stuff is super awesome, particularly in smaller spaces. We used it in our attic location and it worked an absolute treat. I definitely recommend keeping a few cans of this stuff in your kit for those times when you want to add some last-minute ambiance. However, if you're going to be outside in any sort of breeze or you need to fill a larger space, you're definitely going to need a few of these cans, and that can get expensive real quick. Another cool fog-related hack is if you're going to be doing tabletop product photography, I've seen an awesome hack from Caleb Pike over at DSLR Video Shooter where he uses a little puffer and a vape. Yes, a vape as a miniature smoke machine. It's pretty cool and Caleb's content is always awesome. So I'll put the link to that video in the description. Well, that's it for today's video. If you liked it, make sure to give us a thumbs up and hit subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have any questions or you just want to say hi, leave us a comment down below. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.